Can't waste any eggs in today's economy. Whew, that's spooky. 10 seconds, okay? Because otherwise it will burn. Literally, it looks like the Dust Bowl. No, it doesn't literally look like the Dust Bowl. That's dramatic. No poltergeisting, boobas. Boobas. I really hope these bake. Oh, that would have been bad.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Domino and I like making things from scratch and doing things myself. Today, I'm going to be bringing you along on the journey with me and giving you a lot of tips and tricks and showing you the timeline for how I plan and execute my annual Halloween party, and I like to go all out. It is a long process, but I'm going to be showing you how you could do your own Friendsween. That's why I call it Friendsween. If you want to see how I did all of this, keep on watching. I always start with some Pinterest inspirations. I like to go through and save a bunch of things that I like, and then I will go back and narrow down. This is my biggest tip. The number one thing I can tell you, the most important thing, is do not pick things that are going to be very tedious and very difficult and take a lot of time to make. Especially if you're going to be making a lot of things. Try to avoid things where you have to cut out a lot of small things by hand. So find something that will use like a cookie cutter, or find something that you only have to decorate a small part of by hand. So anyway, once you have that all planned out, I like to put it in my notes and I'll put out all of the things that I'm planning on making. And then below that, I will make a list for each store that I need to go to. So the grocery store is gonna be probably your main one. And then if it's like an adult party, then the liquor store is one. I had a Michael's list, I had a thrift store list. Thrift store list was for my costume, and then Michael's, any DIY things that you need or decorations. I also recommend having a tablecloth and some paper plates and napkins, cups, you know, all of that stuff. And then also figure out the decorations you're gonna use. Also, I make my invitation and send them out so that people have time to plan ahead and everything. And usually I just use one of those free Evites websites because it's already set up. You don't have to design anything. All you have to do is like put in your information and you have like a cute little design already. So I like doing that. So the first stage, get inspired and send out your invitation. So now that you've done all of that, I like to start preparations 3 days, 2 to 3 days ahead of time, depending on how much stuff I'm gonna be making. Let's just jump straight into stage 2, the prep. Good morning. We're going to the grocery store to buy a lot of stuff. As of right now, I have everything, I think I have everything that I need to make all of the food. The only thing I need to get the day of is ice to fill up the cooler, but obviously I'm not going to do that yet. First, I'm going to start by just prepping some veggies for the dip. Next, we're doing Rice Krispie treats, and we're gonna be dyeing them green. At least it's not red 40. Those are going to cool, and I'm gonna get started on the brownies. You guys might be wondering how I got this angle. Probably not. You're probably not wondering that, but you're inside my toaster in case you wanted to know. We'll save that egg white for Jesse. Can't waste any eggs in today's economy. Now we're gonna make some buttercream. I'm going to make the caramel apple dip. I'm not going to cut up the apples until the day of because I don't want them to get brown. And that wraps up all of the prep that I did today. We have to start our day off today by taking some notes because I missed classes on Wednesday and I never ended up looking back and taking notes. So I am taking my analysis notes right now. I just got my midterm grade back from this class. My grade sounds bad, but it's not. Okay, do you know what the highest grade that anyone in the class got on the midterm was? The highest grade was a 73. I got a 62 on the midterm. I studied for like 3 days straight. The average was a 50. So I'm a math major and required to get a math degree is analysis 1. So I took analysis 1 last semester and I really didn't want to take that class. I was terrified of that class and I originally was going to take it with a different professor, and on the first day of him teaching, I said, no way. No way. So I dropped the class. I was not about to take that class with that monster of a professor. So I took it the next semester with the professor that I have now, and he made me love analysis. Like, I love that class. I was excited to go to that class, and so that's why I took analysis 2, which was not required, and it is extremely hard. But anyway, I'm gonna do the notes. I'm gonna do the notes now. Oh, also, including me, there are 2 girls in that class. I hate it. I hate it. No one even sits near me in that class.
No, please. I found this inflatable cooler at Michael's and it was 50% off. So, of course I bought it. Pretty sure it doesn't come with like a pump. So I figured we'd get this out of the way before I start getting overwhelmed and tired, because I know I'm not gonna want to do this later. Oh, I hate cardboard. I hate cardboard. I have chills now. Okay. Wow, it already has cat hair all over it. Thanks, Boomis. I have a feeling this is gonna scare him, so I'm sorry in advance. Wow, this is gonna be really big. See, I knew it. No, he's not scared. He's just bored, I think. Oh my gosh, this thing is huge. Let's just get started, I guess. I feel like I'm breathing in toxic chemicals just by breathing near this thing. I finished blowing the entire thing up. This thing is huge. Bulbous can get in here too. Next up on our agenda, carve the pumpkin. And because I'm gonna be using this to serve food with, I'm gonna just wash it in the sink first because we don't know where you've been. Clean pumpkin. We are going for a throwing up face, and I'm going to be watching Halloween Town while I do this. Always cut your pumpkin top at an angle so it doesn't fall straight back through. Also, I love these little pumpkin carving tools. They work so well. The only thing I will say, the scooper is very effective at scooping, but then it leaves these like little ridges on the inside, which you can see, but that's okay because I have a remedy for that. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for now. Do you guys see how there's like still string bits hanging in the back? I am now just going to use the carver to kind of scrape the inside so that there's no strings. Here she is. Next up on our agenda is the charcuterie eyeballs. First of all, the things we're going to need are pimento olives. The pimento is important. Prosciutto, also mozzarella balls, and a paring knife because we need to scoop out some of the mozzarella to put in the olives. So I recommend using a small knife for that. I'm gonna start by draining the mozzarella. It's best to find the biggest mozzarella balls that you can because it will hold the olives better. I'm going to just use an olive as a size reference, cutting it in half. And I'm just gonna find the roundest side because this just looks the most like an eyeball. And then just cut. Be careful while you're doing this. cut a little divot in there that is similar to the size of the olive. Gonna go a little bit deeper on this one, I think. It's just gonna sit in there like that. I mean, honestly, if you wanted these to be vegetarian, you could just leave them like that. And I'm gonna cut this in half and just wrap it around the eyeball. Charcuterie eyeballs. All right, I'm gonna do the rest of these. So I have found that it does not really work with the coppa because the prosciutto works really well because it sticks to itself. So I would only use prosciutto for this, but I'm not mad about that because that means I get to eat all of this myself, which, you know, I could use a snack. It's like a little taco. Charcuterie eyeballs. Check. Time for the pizza dough. We're making bone breadsticks, but we're not going to be actually baking them until tomorrow. It has risen. I'm gonna punch this down and put this in the fridge overnight. Next on our agenda is to cut some shapes out of some cheese for our bruschettas, a term that I did not come up with myself, but I like nonetheless. Oh my gosh, it like just fits. Whew, that's spooky. Our cheese is going back in the bag for now because I feel that the bruschetta will be best made fresh. So these are just gonna have to wait a little bit. Cheese, check. Remember when we made those Rice Krispie treats yesterday? Next up is to decorate our Frankenstein Rice Krispie treats. The first step is to cut them into squares and melt some chocolate. I'm gonna be melting some chocolate, and I always do it in the microwave. The microwave, why did I say it like that? I don't know. Chocolate. Ah, we should have dressed up as that for Halloween. I always do like 30 seconds to start. This is really important. To start. Only one time. Only one time. I do 30 seconds one time. Then after that, you take it out, you stir it. Even if it doesn't look like it's melted. Every 10 seconds after that. 10 seconds. 10 seconds, okay? Because otherwise it will burn. I've done this before and it sucks. See how it doesn't look like it's melted? We stir it anyway. 10 seconds. Make sure you get all the way to the bottom too. This is what we're looking like so far. I'm gonna put it in for another 10 seconds and then that's probably gonna be good. I'm gonna try and move quickly so that the chocolate doesn't harden. So I'm just gonna like dip it in there like that. I was gonna dip the marshmallows in chocolate, but it just was not really going well. So instead, I'm just going to glue them onto the sides. I'm also going to be gluing on some eyes. I think I'm gonna do the eyes first, actually, so that I can better gauge where to put the marshmallows. My phone stopped recording because I ran out of storage. But this is what we're looking like. I just have to do some cleaning up because of the chocolate. Some of the chocolate is, you know, like here and on the sides and stuff. we're just gonna assemble these brownies. I have my pumpkins that I hand picked out of this giant bag of autumn mix candy. We have some Milanos that I'm gonna cut in half. And then I also have some of this writing gel in black. The buttercream that I made last night, and then brownies. I don't know why, but I'm so bad at cutting things into even sizes. You could probably tell from the Rice Krispie treats. Now we're gonna be cutting a bunch of Milanos in half. I'm just writing RIP on these to be like tombstones, and I'm trying to make them as thin as possible because this stuff is kind of liquidy and I'm scared it's gonna like run. I'm just gonna glue everything in place with some of that buttercream. Brownies are done. The last thing I'm gonna prep tonight is the spinach artichoke dip, which I'm not gonna bake, but I am just gonna mix everything together and have it ready to go into the oven tomorrow. There's one song that every time it comes on, it makes me cry. It just came on, but we're not doing this right now. We're not doing this right now. No, we don't have time. We're skipping the song. We are not crying.
I am done with prep for today.
It's the day of, and I spent the morning kind of just straightening things up, taking stuff off of the counter and putting them in the closet and picking things up. We're gonna go decorate the front door. I feel so people who have never been here before feel confident that they're going to the right house. I mean, most people who are coming have been here before, but we have a new few guests. So I'm gonna put some of these little tapes on the door so no one gets lost. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. It's extremely windy outside right now. I don't know why. Literally, it looks like the Dust Bowl. No, it doesn't literally look like the Dust Bowl. That's dramatic. And so anyway, it's gonna be really loud outside, so you guys aren't gonna be able to probably hear me because I'm gonna probably have to mute the clip, but we're gonna do that now. I'm gonna listen to Taylor Swift. I have that song stuck in my head, The Fate of Ophelia, and every time I talk to my boyfriend on the phone, when he picks up, I just start singing it, and then he's like, oh, here we go again. Then he has to just hear me badly sing it for the beginning of our conversation. Anyway, I'm gonna do that. I am putting the tablecloths on the tables. I had one from a couple years ago that I cut to fit this table, so I'm gonna put that one on. I bought a new tablecloth because the one for the other table got paint all over it and has a hole in it, so I got a new one this year, but I did use it for like 3 years, so I got a lot of use out of it, even though it's like a disposable tablecloth. Anyway, I have to cut that one to shape, so we're doing that next. Next up, we're gonna be doing some plating. I'm gonna make a spider out of olives. These are gonna be the legs. Don't like them? Eat them. Nope. Bye. We just line them up. Anyway, that's the idea. But I'm gonna actually do this on top of the dip. I like it better without the head. Headless spider. Headless spider! So next up, I'm gonna be cutting a bunch of apples. And the trick here is we're gonna keep our apples not brown by soaking them in salt water. So I have 12 cups of water in a bowl, and I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt and let that dissolve in the water. We're gonna soak the cut apples in there for 10-15 minutes. We rinse them, dry them, and then they won't turn brown for a couple days. So that's what we're gonna do. I like to do a mixture of red and green. I'm cutting these just regular into slices, and then after this I'm going to be cutting out some ghost shapes for our punch out of other apples. Next up are spooky apples. They're gonna have to be shorter ghosts. Straw from my water bottle. Now for the oranges. Fruit has been cut. Now I'm going to make the garlic butter for the top of the breadsticks. Well, really it's like garlic knots, but not in a knot form, you know? Garlic. Smells so good. Basil. The spice rub. Our dough exploded a little bit. I'm just gonna roll this out. Okay, and we're Boobish, what are you doing? You got the zoomies? Boobish. No poltergeisting. No poltergeisting, Boobish. Boobish. Make good decisions. What is he doing? Oh. Alright. Anyway. Okay, I'm just gonna cut these into slices, and then we're gonna move over to the table to shape them. Just roughly. And just do 2 vertical slits like that in either side. And then just kind of curl them up into a bow shape. Here they are. I really hope these bake. Oh, that would have been bad. I really hope these bake well. They came out really well. Here they are. I'm just gonna brush them with that butter now. Next up, we're making barbecue sauce from scratch because I literally have never bought barbecue sauce in my life. Why would I start today, you know? So, barbecue sauce. Next up is the bruschetta, and I already cut up the basil because I cut basil for the breadsticks. But here's that prep. Don't worry guys, I sharpened my knife. olive oil. Done. The ribs just came out of the oven. I'm gonna let them cool down a little bit before I open them up. We still have to put barbecue sauce on them and broil them, but I think I'm gonna wait a little bit to do that because it's not time for the party yet and I don't want them to be really cold. So I am going to bake the baguette. And I'm also gonna sprinkle the top of these with some Parmesan. Time to broil. The key to successfully broiling anything is to never let it out of your sight. Perfect. Okay, I'm making a punch. I'm gonna serve it in here, but I'm gonna make it in a different container so that I can put it in the fridge so it gets cold. So, goodbye for now. Wow, it only took 2 limes. I was expecting actually a lot more. I don't really know if I love the pulp in there, so probably when I pour it into the bowl, I'm gonna strain it, but that is just personal preference. So I'm gonna serve it with ice, and I'm gonna put those little spooky apples in there and also oranges. I'm also going to have vodka and tequila as an option, but it is non-alcoholic. It's gonna stay non-alcoholic, and then people can add whatever they want to their drinks. But okay, now it is time to put up the spider webs. I'm going to make it so I can still open these two because that is where I usually need to get into. I always forget something in there, always.
I didn't record anything after this. I'm really sorry. I had people show up early and also people were about to be there, so I had to just get everything done. But essentially all I did was plate everything, and this is how everything came out. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. If you want to see more like this, let me know in the comments. I hope you feel inspired to make your own Halloween party or even just holiday party in general, and I hope you enjoyed.